All right. Calling the regular meeting of Wednesday, October 23rd to order. Please all stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Here.
Councilmember Coyle. Councilmember Harris.
Here.
Councilmember Patel.
Here.
Councilmember Patil.
Here.
Councilmember Pointer.
Present.
Councilmember Shmuel.
Madam Clerk, read the adequate notice, please.
Adequate notice of this meeting as required by the Open Public Meeting Act of 1975 has been provided by the annual notice sent to the Home News Tribune, Star Ledger, Desi Talk, and News India Times on December 12th, 2023, and posted in Main Lobby Municipal Complex on that same date.
Thank you. As for the Council President's remark, the only thing I want to update the township is that we are looking to update our decorum rules to make it more clear and concise so that we can have better meetings where we all can be heard and we can have better discussions and move the town's issues along much dignified. Moving on to new business. Proposed ordinance public hearing set down for Wednesday, November 13th, 2024. Madam Clerk, please read the ordinance.
An ordinance of the Township of Edison authorizing acceptance and execution of a site triangle easement agreement and sidewalk right-of-way easement agreement known as Block 497.01, Lot 1.01 on Township's official tax map. Kilmer Developers.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I get a motion to introduce?
Council President,
Councilman Patel.
I move this ordinance be passed on first reading, published according to the law for further consideration. Public hearing set down for Wednesday, November 13, 2024.
And may I have a second?
Second.
So that's a motion by Councilman Patel, second by Council Vice President. Any council comments? All right, seeing none, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. Moving on to public comments on the resolution. If anybody would like to speak on the proposed resolutions in number 7, you may. All right, seeing none, may I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close?
May I have a second?
Second.
So that's a motion by Council Vice President, second by Councilman Patil. All in favor?
Aye.
All right, so the public portion on the resolution is closed. Moving on to the proposed resolutions, any council members would like to pull this, anything for a separate vote?
Council President,
Councilman Pointer,
576.
576. Any other council members?
Council President, in fact, I would like to table 576 until further notice.
Okay, so we will do that when we get started. Okay, anybody else?
625. 635.
Okay, anything else? That's it?
Yes.
Okay, so the consent agenda is going to be 592, 624, 626 to 634, 636 to 647. May I get a motion to approve the consent agenda?
Motion to approve?
Seconded.
And motion by Council Vice President, second by Councilman Patil. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. Okay, so 576, I will take a motion.
Yeah, motion to table.
All right, may I have a second?
Second.
So that's a motion to table by Councilman Patil, second by Council Vice President. Madam,
Point of clarification, just, are we tabling it to the next meeting?
we're
Or
doing it indefinitely till we can bring it back.
Definitely, okay.
Yeah,
So it's just going to be tabled?
yes.
Okay.
All right, Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes to table.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes.
I'm sorry, Council President? There seems to be some confusion coming from the audience. Ma'am, just wait one second. With respect to, I think, the designation of one of these, I just want to make sure that everything's covered appropriately. I keep seeing someone say 546, not 76. I don't know if that's correct, if they're referring to this, but I just want to make sure that we don't
Oh, it's 576.
So the resolution that's on in front of me is Resolution 576, resolution authorizing Township of Edison to accept grant from New Jersey Department of Transportation for Jackson Ave rehabilitation. So it's 576.
Okay.
Good? Okay. So that's the one we're tabling, and the council, we did the roll call, right?
Yes, you did the vote.
Okay. Okay, moving on to 625, Councilman Brescher.
Disbursements, yes. We have a company, I mean, I can look up their name. Let's see. A company called the Consortium Print Group. Are they in this payment?
Which one was the company?
Consortium Print Group?
Consortium Pay Group?
Print.
Print Group, okay. Do we have a company called Consortium Print Group?
Just a moment, we can take a look into our system. It does sound familiar. What is is that just a question, or is there something
Well, the question
follow-up?
is how much, yeah, right, how much are we paying them? And the reason being is they're the ones that are doing the printing for the illuminator.
We go out to bid for consortium. When we went out, I believe it was about 43,000, but let me just confirm that number for you. So it would have technically been under the bid threshold, so it wouldn't come to the council.
Well, no, I understand that, but this is for disbursements. And if we're approving the disbursements for the illuminator, right, the one that's basically the political mailer that everybody seems to talk about, I don't want to approve payment of their bill.
I don't recall that we have that on here. That would have come under communications TV. So I don't have consortium under that line.
Okay, so they're not under the disbursements this time. Okay.
Okay. Do you want to do the two get together, or do you want to do it separately?
Uh,
The 635.
635, no, do them separately.
Okay, so then can we get a motion to approve Resolution 625?
Motion to approve.
Seconded.
All right, that's a motion by Council Vice President, second by Councilman Patel. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
Yes.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. Okay, moving on to Resolution 635. Councilman Brescher.
Yes, it's just another change order. Not necessarily that I agree with the change order, not that I agree that it's needed. I think there could be other options. The administration doesn't bring this to council to see what other options maybe we'd be feeling comfortable with. So I want to vote no.
Okay, may I get a motion?
Motion to approve.
May I have a second?
Seconded.
All right, that's a motion by Councilman Pointer, second by Councilman Patil. Madam Clerk, roll call, please.
Councilmember Brescher.
No.
Councilmember Harris.
Yes.
Councilmember Patil.
Yes.
Councilmember Pointer.
Yes.
Council President Patel.
Yes. Okay, moving on to the communication. May I have a motion to accept?
Motion to accept the communication?
Second.
That's a motion to accept by Councilman Patil, second by Council Vice President. All in favor?
Aye.
Question on that. I believe I asked for information on the IA for the streets, the list of the streets that the IA program has produced, and I haven't received that yet.
Yes, I said I wouldn't be able to produce that by this Wednesday, but it is being worked on the list.
Well, can I, that was an odd statement. I'll just tell you why. Typically, when we talk about AI, it's artificial intelligence. That's like asking something verbally on my phone like I do, and then it gives me the answers. So if we have this AI software that's supposed to get this, isn't it a matter of just hitting the button and give me the list of what roads are bad and which ones aren't? I mean, I'm misunderstood. Like, if this was a human task, I get it, but this is a computer program that we're paying for. right? It's all computer generated. And what you're telling me is that you couldn't get it to me Tuesday, you couldn't get it to me today, and we're talking about information that comes out of a computer from a computer program. Now, I have colleagues up here that deal with computers probably a lot more than I do, and I'm surprised no one up here has asked this question. So what is so complicated about getting me the list that the AI computer has generated?
My understanding was that the list was in correlation with the current street list. So if that was not the case, then that was my misunderstanding, but I can inquire about this. You want a general report?
I just want a general report by street, by this AI program to see what it produces. I'm not looking for you to correlate it with any other what you're doing now or anything. I'm looking to see what the data looks like so I understand what it does. Thank you.
All right.
Aye.
All in favor?
Aye.
Oral petitions and remarks. There's no one on the list, so anybody would like to speak?
Elizabeth Conway, 20 Netherwood Circle.
You're recognized.
Just a couple things. I just wanted to keep getting an update on the intersection of Old Raritan Road and Inman Avenue. And coming back a little further on Inman Avenue, what can be done at the T of Raway Ave and the T of Tingley, to see if something can be done there, because that's a horrific part of town also. So that's number one. Number two, I did question 646 in the resolution, because it's very concerning these days with the real dry weather and the fires going around. The chief about it, and he had been telling me about it, and I was hoping that it would be pulled regardless, just for safety measures, because they're still saying we have a while left, and Connecticut's not in a good way right now, and New Jersey's not too good. I thought it would be proactive rather than reactive to think more about that resolution. And number three, I just have a question. I don't have the answer, but I got the Illuminator the other day, and I was reading the Illuminator, and I kind of questioned one of the things, but I have no proof, so I just let it go in one ear and out the other. But a friend called me. There was an article about the first school in Edison being in the Oak Tree Avenue. And I recall that it was the little school that was on the triangle where Plainfield Road and Oak Tree Road met, and it has been since been demolished, which was sad. But then when I was reading the article, it was very confusing, because they were calling it the Piscataway Town School, which is on where Plainfield Ave and Woodbridge Avenue is now another school. So I was wondering if there's any way of finding out definitively which one it was, because it was a great article, and it goes back into centuries ago, so we should be proud of it. I just wanted to ask if we could look in to see which is which. Thank you.
Sonia, for the Inman and Old Raritan, did we get any updates from the county?
So what I'd provided on Monday was that they are working with the township with the information we provided. So right now, it's within the county engineer's hands.
Okay, and this is, I think, second or the third time Elizabeth has brought up the Rahway with T section, with the Tingley T section. Does the township have any plans to address that situation?
Could you repeat that first part of the question?
The Rahway, the T section at Rahway and Tingley.
Raway and
Tingley.
Tingley.
It was Tingley Road, right?
2 Ts, yes. Near to MLK.
Yeah, it's on the Inman, right? Yeah.
Council President, may I have Mr. Picarillo come up?
Good evening.
Good evening, Brian.
We've been going back and forth with the county. The county is interested in going forward with the project. It died back in the early mid 90s, roughly, due to property acquisition. So we're looking into that aspect now before we go full speed ahead into design and with an agreement with the county.
So we have to acquire property before we can move forward? Is that?
We're seeing the feasibility of acquiring those properties right now. And if we can get the properties, ideally, we'd like to move forward from an engineering standpoint. If we can't get those properties, it would most likely kill the project again.
Okay, okay. Thank you, Brian.
You're welcome.
Firework safety, do we have the chief?
Yes, I was talking to Mrs. Conway before the meeting. From the state, it just says that all bonfires and fireworks shows are prohibited by the state. So by passing the ordinance or the resolution wouldn't matter because the fire marshal, if this is still in effect, he's not going to issue it the day of. As of right now, it doesn't look like it's going to go on. So you can pass this, but ultimately we would withhold the permit. They wouldn't be allowed to do the fireworks display.
Okay.
Because of the drought, though. And then we also have further questioning in for Diwali with the residential, with the police department fireworks, because in Connecticut and everything like that, with the fireworks, and it's being so dry. So we'll have more information out to the town tomorrow, but there's no problem passing the resolution because we could just hold it back because if the state law says they can't do it, they're not going to be allowed to do it.
So, okay, so this is just in case if they can, they'll have the permission.
God forbid you got 2 inches of rain tomorrow that they didn't call from and they lift the ban, then they could have their, but it doesn't look like it's gonna. You could pass it, a resolution, but ultimately the fire marshal will not issue it if we're under direction by the state.
Perfect, thank you. And I don't believe anybody would have the answer to the Illuminator article, but the question on the first school in Edison and the oak tree, what was it called? Was it the Piscataway?
So those are actually those are actually two separate schools.
Okay.
The Piscataway Town School, it looks like it was built in 1913 and was the first school in the township to have a telephone. I think that may be what you're referring to with the Piscataway Town reference in the Illuminator.
Okay.
But the Oak Tree Road School is the oldest school it was before it was even Raritan Township.
Okay, well, good to learn. Joyce?
Joyce Ship Freeman. My mother went to the Piscataway School.
But just Joyce, just
Yes.
the township will be good, I can recognize you.
Excuse me?
The name and township, the address,
Oh, Edison.
okay, you recognized.
Yeah, at all. But she went to that little school that was on that little piece right there. And my mother also went to the school in Metuchen that looked like a school. Depends on when you were born. Then you went to like real schoolhouses, like Little House on the Prairies. We have, first of all, can we get a tally of the Diwali expenses that it will cost us? Can we get that? How much money and how much of it is donated? Also, I just wanted to know this questioning, did the DPW ever get their retro pay? And are DPW people working, or are they asked to volunteer at events while police get paid? Okay. The flashing signs and the stuff that's outside, we're already full of accidents. So Edison, with those flashing lights about burglary and stuff, so that creates a problem also, because Domestic Violence Month, September, Breast Cancer Month this month, but Murphy signed a bill expanding the rights of sexual assault victims on September 3rd, 2024. Why we don't have a blinking light for women? I just want to have a blinking light for women in some of the things that we go through, because I participated in some cancer walks this weekend at my alumni at TCNJ. It was what's happening. And whenever you get a chance, I need the questions to my answers. And I'm still waiting for the list of programs for the youth at Minnie B-ville. Still looking out for that. So Minnie B-ville list and the questions, Yep, about that and about those signs that are being put up all over the place. Matter of fact, they said one of the signs had the word spelled wrong, but I don't look that closely at them because I'm driving, and I know the people in Edison, they are a lot. They're a whole lot to, you got to be very careful that they don't cut you off and move you right along. So I think that's all they asked me to ask you guys.
Okay.
Thank
We'll
you.
start. Sonia, can we get, this is a question on Diwali. Is there a way for us to figure out how much of it is township expenses and how much is donated?
Yes, we are working on that. We've gotten inquiries, so we'll have that and provide that to the council as well.
Okay. Something in regards to the DPW and the retro pay. I'm not familiar with that.
I'm not understanding the question, but we work on that internally. We have been, I have our finance
Joyce, if you
team
want to
here.
come back up, I think you still have time. If you want to clarify that question.
If you're the BA, you know what money is being spent where and when. If you're the
So-
BA,
so just one more-
you kind of have an idea of the retro money that was promised. No.
I have no understanding
That's
of your
Joyce.
assumption.
Yeah, Joyce, put the
Yes.
questions toward me and I'll pass it on to her. Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
The retro money for the pay for the DPW guys. That should be that easy because they settled the contract. So within that, I mean, the only reason why I'm asking because we spending a whole lot of money on a whole bunch of vacations and a whole lot of other things else. I wouldn't even ask that question. And the only reason
Okay.
I'm asking about the volunteering, about them asked to volunteer and not getting paid. I know the police officers get paid. No disrespect to police officers. I'm fine with it, that they're getting paid for their presence. But I'm a union girl, and I think everybody that's in the union should be getting paid if they're at a particular place.
I think, are you familiar with the situation, Mr. Wood, with the DPW and the retro pay?
I mean, I don't know exactly. I know that we closed the contract, so if the contract was closed, then retro pay should have been issued or
Count-
should be issued. That's it.
Correct. Procedurally, that is what happens. Internally, what is happening? We submitted all of the finances to the shop stewards and representatives, and we're awaiting a response to double check the numbers. So that is where it
So we're
currently
just moving along.
stands.
Okay. So-
Yes, as far as the working versus volunteering, I don't know what exactly events Ms. Ship is claiming. Otherwise, if there are, if she could just let me know, and I can certainly look into it.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. And then the flashing lights, the flashing lights, I think the reference to that they're flashing too fast. And I think this was a concern earlier as well, that they're trying to make sure that we don't change the display that often.
So I'll bring that up to our traffic division as well as our engineering team.
Okay.
Council President?
Sure, just last question that she had. Do we have an update on the program at the Mini Beville? The programs available at Mini Beville?
Those are usually posted and sent out. We can certainly provide that to Ms. Ship as well.
Thank you. Go ahead, Councilman Bishop.
Just with the signage boards that we have, did we purchase them through the police department or is that the recreation department?
Or which boards are you referring to? The message boards?
The message boards.
Those
that
are
all
usually
around
done
town.
through the police department.
Okay, we purchased them through their department.
Correct.
Okay, it was just point of information. That's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else that would like to speak? All right, may I get a motion to close the public portion?
Motion to close?
May I have a second?
Second.
That's a motion by Council Vice President, second by Councilman Pointer. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, and motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn?
Seconded.
I always jump that one. Okay, so that's motion by Council Vice President, second by Councilman Pacho. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right, this meeting stands adjourned at 7:27. This is amazing.